Welcome to an English pronunciation challenge. An English pronunciation challenge. Now, the challenge I have for you today is this. I want you to pronounce these words here. Okay, now this might be a bit challenging. Okay, you might need to pause the video and just think about it for a minute. I would say even native English speakers might need to just pause for a moment and look at these words and think about them. Like, look, they sort of look the same, right? So how would you pronounce this? It's a bit tricky, but don't fear because I'm here to help you figure this out. Hey, if you like getting pronunciation tips like this, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel right down there. Okay, so before I tell you how to pronounce those words, let's just look at the words individually, okay? So take a look at this. What's this thing? This thing is a bass, okay? It's called a bass. It's a very common instrument in a lot of different kinds of music, right? Rock and roll, jazz, country, even rap, right? Even some rap music might use a bass, right? The word bass means a low sound, right? Boom, boom, boom. You know that song? It goes boom, 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 boom. But what's that song called? Seven Nation Army? I can't remember. I think it's something like that. Anyway, so this is called a bass, or you could call it a bass guitar. Okay, typically basses have 4 strings, but very often they also have 5 strings, or maybe even more. Maybe a bass could have 6 or 7. I'm not sure. I'm not a bass player. I'm a guitar player, not a bass player. But I love the sound of bass. It's a great sound. Now, this animal, this kind of fish, is called a bass. A bass. Okay, so bass and bass. Okay, a long A, bass, and a short A, bass. Can you hear the difference? Bass, bass. Now look at these two words. They look exactly the same, right? They look exactly the same, but they're 2 completely different words, okay? They have nothing to do with each other. They just happen to look exactly the same. Okay, so let's imagine a sentence. Let's say you would be reading a book, okay, and you read this sentence. Okay, how would you pronounce this word? Can have large bodies. Okay, these things can have large bodies. Should you pronounce it basses or basses? Well, the answer is we don't know. There's no way to know. Okay, if you see a sentence like this, there's no way to know how to pronounce this word. Okay, we have to rely on the context. Okay, what's the book about? Or the article? Maybe you're reading an article online, right? What is it about? Is it about fish? Okay, well then it would be pronounced basses. Okay, but if it's talking about music, then it would be pronounced basses, right? Large bodies, right? This thing here, this part of the guitar, that's the body of the guitar, right? This is the neck. This long piece here is the neck, but this piece here is the body. Okay, and a fish has a body. Okay, so it could be talking about could maybe some bass guitars have large bodies. Maybe some basses have large bodies. Okay, so we don't know. Okay, so this is this is just an interesting example. Sometimes English is like this. Sometimes a word looks exactly the same, but it's 2 different words with 2 different pronunciations. Okay, so we really don't know. We have to rely on the context. What is it about? So sometimes, like the reason I started this sentence with this word was to show you that sometimes you need to look ahead in the sentence to see what it's about, right? I mean, maybe later on in the sentence, it would be talking about fish or music. Well, then you know. Okay, so sometimes when you're reading in English, you have to sort of look ahead or look back and figure out what it's talking about before you know how to pronounce a word. Okay, so it can be a bit tricky sometimes. Okay, now this guy here, a person who plays the bass, is called a bassist. Okay, a bassist. Now let's go back to the joke. Okay, so here's the bassist, right? The bassist is playing a bass. Okay, so we know that. Now, is the bassist a human? No, it's not a human bassist. It's a bass bassist, right? So that's the first line. A bass bassist playing a bass bass. Okay, so the bass bassist is playing a bass. Now, is it a normal bass? No, it's not a normal bass. It's a bass bass. Look at that. It's a fish. It's in the shape of a fish. Okay, so it's a bass bass. So how I would pronounce it is this: a bass bassist playing a bass bass. A bass bassist playing a bass bass. Did you get it right? Let me know down in the comments if you got it right. Sorry, my throat got a bit dry. All right, I'm back in business. Okay, so take a look at this comma here. Okay, why is that comma there? Is that supposed to be there? Well, to be honest, I think that's a mistake. Okay, I'm not sure why there's a comma there. It doesn't really make sense to me. But, it could be that maybe I don't understand something about this joke. Very often in English jokes are sort of like an onion. They have different layers. You might understand one layer, and you might find that funny. One or two layers, and you can enjoy it, the joke. You can appreciate it. But the joke might have a deeper meaning, and probably if you get the deeper meaning, then it'll be even funnier. You'll enjoy it even more. That's how jokes are. There's sort of different layers of understanding. So it's very possible that, I might not understand something in this joke, but I think it's a mistake. Okay, I think this comma should not be here. So it should just be, I already told you the pronunciation, right? A bass bassist playing a bass bass. That's my understanding. Okay, so short A, long A, long A. A bass bassist playing a bass bass. Now, let's talk a bit about the comma. Why should the comma not be there? Well, it's because we don't put a comma between the adjective and the noun, right? If there's just one adjective, we don't need to put a comma there. Okay, look at this example. Okay, he is a tall man, right? This is the adjective and this is the noun, right? The word man is a noun. And what kind of man? Is he a short man? No, he's a tall man. Okay, so tall is an adjective. Words like tall, short, fat, skinny, brown, green, hot, cold, those kind of descriptive words, those are adjectives. Okay, so we don't need to put a comma here. But you may have seen if there are two adjectives describing the same noun, then you may have seen situations where there is a comma between both adjectives. Okay, look at this. He is a noble, honest man. Okay, he is a noble, honest man. Both these adjectives are describing man, right? He is a noble man and he is an honest man. Okay, so we have a comma here. Now, the confusing thing is that very often in English, when there are two adjectives describing a noun, we don't put a comma between the adjectives. Okay, for example, look at this. Okay, look at that cool red Beamer. Look at that cool red Beamer. Okay, very often people call BMWs Beamers. Okay, I'm not sure why, they just do. So look at that cool red Beamer. Okay, so here we have one adjective, two adjectives. Okay, two adjectives describing the noun Beamer. Okay, now we don't have a comma here. Why? Why don't we have a comma here? Well, it's sometimes English is complicated. The easiest way I would describe it for you, just the easiest way to remember would be this, okay? If you cannot swap the adjectives around, don't add a comma, okay? So if you can't swap the adjectives around, then don't add a comma, okay? If that makes sense, just think about this for a bit, okay? Because very often you can swap the adjectives around. So look at this. Look at that red cool Beamer. Look at that red cool Beamer. Is that right? No, that's not right. That's wrong. We cannot say that, right? We have to put the word cool before red because it just sounds wrong. Okay, any native English speaker would tell you this is wrong. Look at that red cool Beamer. No, the word cool has to come first. Now, why is that? Why does the word cool have to come before red? Well, it's because in English, adjectives follow a certain order. Okay, now this is a bit flexible. Okay, if you go online and you search for order of adjectives in English, okay, you're going to find different websites that tell you different things. Now, you'll find a long list, not just 6. Okay, I just put some common ones here. Really, the list could be, huge, but these are just some common ones. Okay, so first we have the number, right? How many cars? Do we have like 2 cars or 5 cars or something? Okay, and then our opinion. What's our opinion about them? And then the size. Are they big, small? And then the age. Are they young? Are they old? And then we have the shape. Okay, are they round? Is it what's the shape of the house, or what's the shape of the car, or what's the that's next. And then after that is the color. Okay, red, white, blue, brown, black, whatever. Okay, so let's look at an example. Okay, look at those 3 cute, small, young, plump brown puppies. Wow, look at those cute puppies, right? Okay, so how many do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have 6 adjectives describing the noun puppies. Okay, so let's look at them. What's 3? Well, 3 is the number of puppies, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and cute, right? That's our opinion, right? We think they're cute. I mean, maybe you think they're ugly, but they look cute to me. If you think they're cute, give them a like. Okay, so small. That we're talking about the size, right? They're small. Young, that's age, right? Plump. We're talking about like their shape, their physical, sort of their physical properties, right? Are they skinny? Oh no, they don't look skinny. They look a bit plump, right? Plump is a nice way of saying just a bit fat or a bit husky. Okay, then we have the color. Okay, they're brown, and then that's it. Okay, so they follow this order. Now, if you were to give native English speakers, if you took 100 native English speakers and you gave them this list of adjectives, I think most of them would put them in this order. Or maybe if not this order, it'd be really close. Maybe some of these middle ones, like, maybe these 2 could be flipped around. Look at those 3 cute, small, plump, young, brown puppies. Okay, so I think maybe you could flip these 2 around, but you could not flip this one and like this one around. Okay, because they're too far on the spectrum, right? So if you take a look at this list, right, you might be able to get away with flipping these 2 or something around because they're sort of close, but you can't flip this and this, right? That's too far away. Okay, the color and the opinion. Remember with the car, the cool red car, well, that's why we can't say red cool car, because we can't put the color before our opinion because the color is way down here, right? There's a lot of space in between on this spectrum. Okay, so the further away the further away 2 adjectives are from each other on this sort of spectrum, the more awkward it sounds if you flip them. Okay, so you can't flip them, especially if they're far apart. This just sounds really, really awkward. Okay, now let's try to put another adjective in here. Right, like I said, you could have a lot. Now, I would just like to say, in English, we never talk like this. Okay, I mean, at most, it's rare to use more than 2 or 3 adjectives to describe the same noun. I mean, yeah, you could say, hey, look at that beautiful red. Look at that big, beautiful red house. Okay, so then there's 3, right? Big, beautiful red. Okay, so that would probably be the most. You'll never, we never say sentences like this. This is just ridiculous. Look at those 3 cute, young, plump, brown puppies. Sorry, I'm thirsty today. Okay, so let's try to put the word Bulgarian in here. Got some water on my mustache. What do you think about my nice mustache? Give me a like if you love my mustache. And if you love these puppies, then give it... No, actually, don't hit like twice because then that cancels the like. Would be a bad idea. Just give 1 like, not 2 likes. Okay, so let's try to put the word Bulgarian somewhere in here. Okay, where would you put it? Okay, it's an adjective, right? I mean, it describes what kind of puppies these are. They are Bulgarian. I have no idea if they are. I just made this up, right? Maybe Bulgarian could be referring to the kind of the puppies or where they're from, right? Their origin. Okay, so where would you put it? Where would you put it in here? Can we put it there at the beginning? Can we say, look at those Bulgarian 3 cute, small, young, plump, brown puppies? Can we put it at the beginning? No, we can't. It doesn't sound natural at all. Okay, what I think the best place to put it is right here at the end. Okay, look at those 3 cute, small, young, plump, brown Bulgarian puppies. Okay, this is where I would put it. Now, I think if you look up lists online, the order, if you Google order of adjectives, okay, you'll probably find origin, right, somewhere near the end of the list. Okay, it's not going to be here at the beginning, right? Origin, right? We're talking about where something is from. So, you know, a nationality, you know, like we can use the word like Canadian or Bulgarian or that kind of stuff, right? French, right? Maybe those are French dogs. I don't know anything about dogs. Let me know. Maybe what were they? Are they called? No, they're not golden. Are they golden retrievers? Labs? Maybe. I don't know. Let me know what kind of puppies those are down in the comments. Okay, so because origin is over here, you know, we have to put it somewhere at the end. Okay, it's not natural to put it at the beginning. Okay, so let's take a look at another adjective. Okay, the adjective hairy. Okay, where would you put hairy in here? Okay, look at those 3 cute, small, young, hairy, plump, brown puppies. Would you put it, for me, I'll tell you where I would put it somewhere here in the middle. Okay, now how do I know to put it in the middle? Well, we're talking about the puppies, sort of their physical appearance. Okay, so it'll probably be somewhere around this, right? Their shape. It'll probably be somewhere here. Okay, so I would say you could probably put it here before brown. You could say, look at those 3 cute, small, young, plump, hairy, brown puppies. Okay, or you could probably put it here, you know, or maybe you could even put it here after small. Look at those 3 cute, small, hairy, young, plump, brown puppies. Okay, so I would say you could maybe put it somewhere in the middle. Okay, but you cannot put it at the beginning and you cannot put it at the end. Okay, I think most native English speakers would naturally. Now, native English speakers, I guarantee you, they've never thought about this in their life. Okay, probably 0%, maybe 1% of native English speakers have ever thought about this idea that adjectives are supposed to follow a certain order, right? They just do it naturally, right? When a kid grows up speaking a language, certain things just sort of get ingrained in their mind. It just sort of gets internalized, right? Like you're good at your language, right? If you're a native speaker of your own language, like Bengali or I don't know, Afrikaans or whatever language, right? You're good at it. You don't have to think about it. You know, just like for me, I don't have to think about English, right? I don't think, where does Harry go, right? I sort of know. It's sort of a feeling I get. Okay, so a lot of this is just a feeling. It's not like a fixed list of rules. Okay, so you know, don't think of it as like a rigid list. It's flexible. Here's an example of that. Okay, so look at this sentence. Look at that barn. Okay, look at that nice barn. Now, what kind of adjectives could we use to describe this barn? Well, it's a big barn. It's a beautiful barn, and it's a red barn. Okay, now how would you order these 3 words? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, which ones would you put where? Think about it. Let me know down in the comments. Okay, well, here's an example, I think, of where you'd have 2 choices. You could either say, look at that big, beautiful red barn, or you could say, look at that beautiful big red barn. Okay, so you could say both. Now, in most situations, I would say it's better to put the opinion before the size. Okay, in most situations, that sounds more natural to me, to put opinion before size. But in this case, I would say it would be just as natural to say, look at that big, beautiful red barn. Okay, so here's an example of, where you could switch it around. You could say, look at that big beautiful red barn, or look at that beautiful big red barn. Okay, but the word red has to come at the end. Okay, we cannot put red here or here. Okay, if you put red here, it's just going to sound unnatural. Okay, so it has to come at the end. So it's flexible, right? So in this case here, look at that cool red beamer. Okay, the reason we cannot switch these words around, like I said, is it's just too unnatural. It's too far away. Color and opinion. Like, you might be able to get away with switching, some of these close, if they're close together, right? Like, remember opinion and size, right? Is it big, beautiful red, or is it beautiful, big red barn? Well, look at this. Opinion and size are close together. But that's why red is way over here. That's why this is okay. You could get away with swapping those around, but you could not swap color with something up here. So that's all I want to say about that. So with this sentence, he is a noble, honest man. Okay, these you can swap around, right? If we say he is an honest, noble man, he is an honest, noble man, right? We're putting this one first. That's okay. It sounds perfectly natural. We can swap them around. Now, in this case, both of these are sort of in the same category, right? If we're talking about someone's characteristics, if they're nice, kind, noble, generous, those kind of things, it's sort of in the same category, right? So we can switch those around. That's just, actually this topic, this could be a much bigger topic. Okay, this lesson was supposed to be a pronunciation challenge with the bass bass, or no, how is it? Yeah, the bass bassist playing a bass bass. But I just sort of got carried away when I was making this lesson. I just wanted to talk about this. But if you want me to make another lesson, like a whole separate video giving a lot of examples about adjectives and more examples about this comma, let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to make another lesson. But for now, that's just sort of a brief explanation. So hey, let's do some homework. I want to know. I want you to make a sentence with 5 adjectives. Okay, so try to put 5 adjectives before a noun. Now, if you don't get it right, it's okay. Just try your best. Have fun with it. I'm looking forward to reading, what you wrote, what kind of sentences you guys come up with. So I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. And thank you so much for joining me in today's video. And I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.